I'm Laura Lynn, and I'll be your Pilates teacher today. Pilates is all about length with strength to support flexibility and muscular balance. So today's video is all about the Pilates fundamentals to keep you safe and effective during these exercises. Don't forget, you can always rewind to visit these exercises again and again, and don't be shy to do so. Mastering Pilates is all about repetition, so keep at it. Are you ready to get on this journey? Let's do this. Let's start with breathing. So before we begin, I want to just make a note. During the whole series of these videos, there might be a need for a pillow, a small pillow, or a folded towel underneath your head. And we're going to just quickly demonstrate this. If you lie down on your back and your head and neck are pointing backwards too much, you'll feel quite an arch in your neck. And if you already know that you have a forward head posture, this might be an appropriate time for you to place a pillow under your head to help draw your chin down a little bit more perpendicular to the floor so that you're not straining your neck as you're lying down. If that's something you need, feel free to use that throughout the series when you're lying on your back. We'll remove it for now because Tanya doesn't need it quite at this moment. All right, so breathing. With the Pilates breath, we want to look at trying to not shrug our shoulders up into our ears. Can you show us what it looks like when people breathe and then just relax? Yeah. So oftentimes we're just tense and our breath pattern is up high in our chest and shoulders. In Pilates, we want to try to find a breath that's wide across your rib cage. So as you inhale and exhale, you'll feel your ribs gently expanding, opening out to the sides. And as you exhale, they gently just soften in naturally. You can even put your own hands onto your rib cage and breathe in towards your hands to expand your ribs and exhale to soften. Try that a couple of times. Now, it might not feel natural, but it's something to definitely practice, finding different places to breathe into. The next part of the breathing is how to exhale. It sounds silly. I think you know how to exhale, but in Pilates, we want to find a little bit more engagement from our abdominals to help press the air out of our body. So while breathing in through the nose and out through the nose if possible, or out through the mouth if necessary, your exhale could come from the lowest abdominals that you can find. You can place your hands just at the top of your pelvic bones that are in the front. When you're lying down, it's the easiest to find them. These bones, if you trace your fingers towards the center at that same line, in this area, as you exhale, you can try to press the air out from that area to force it out of your mouth and nose. Inhale into your ribs, and then push the air out from your lowest abdominals, out through your mouth or nose. Inhale, and exhale. Sometimes I take my own hand to my stomach, inhale, and I help press it out and up because our abdominals are scooping in and up. One more time. Good. So with that breathing pattern is quite challenging. Don't get frustrated. Just practice it over and over again while you're doing the exercises, and it'll get better and better as you go. Okay, keep going. Now let's look at our pelvic position, the second principle of alignment here. So if you want to bend your knees to bring your feet flat, and we're going to look at what an ideal long pelvic position might be. So if you want to find the two hip bones that are in the front of your pelvis and place the heels of your hands onto those points while you lay your fingertips towards your pubic bone. Ideally, those two positions, or between those 2 points, it's horizontal or flat or long. This may not be natural. Let's show what a pelvic tilt might look like. So if you were to tilt your pelvis back, the heels of your hands, you can show your hands there, your heels of your hands would be lower than your fingertips. That would be where your lower back is really pressing into the mat, and now you're not in a long, neutral pelvic position. Conversely, your pelvis might be a little bit the other way, and that might feel like your back is arching. Just lift this arm up, and you'll see your back isn't even connected to the mat. Your fingertips are dipping down lower than the heels of your hands in those two bony placements. So those are two extremes that we're not necessarily wanting to work in. However, we might move through them at certain points. Bring yourself back to a long pelvic position, and you can always go back to using your hands in that placement to see if it feels long and horizontal. Then once you've established that, we want to try to maintain that pelvic position while we move our body. We're going to try some leg slides. Tanya, if you can lay your arms down beside you for now, and ideally keeping those 2 points horizontal and flat, start to slide one leg down the mat while keeping the pelvis still. Slide your foot back in without moving it, and try it on the other side. Show what it might look like if the leg goes out and you go anterior, because usually when the leg goes out, you go arched. So we don't want to go there, and then slide your leg back in. And sometimes when the leg is in, you go back to that tucked position that might be natural for you at this moment, and you want to try to avoid that. So staying long and neutral might be challenging just with this simple exercise. Try it one more time. Slide out and slide in. Another leg and slide in. Let's try one more time. That's challenging you to keep a long pelvic position without moving it while your leg is moving. Now let's try and fold the knee in towards you without tipping your pelvis. Just one at a time. So we'll bring them down. Find your long position. Let's add the breathing into this. So breathe into the ribs, the sides of the ribs as best you can. Start to exhale by pressing your abdominals and pull the leg in without tilting your pelvis. Fold the foot back down as you breathe in. Exhale, connect and bring your knee up. And put your foot down. Try that one more time. Exhale, connect. It's hard not to tip backwards with the pelvis. Just try your best. Feel long through the back of your pelvis and down. Good. So one last little exercise or movement to feel these pelvic positions, and also it just feels good on the spine. And we're going to articulate your spine. So bring your feet closer to your bottom and separate them about a fist to a fist and a half's worth of space apart from each other. So just widen your feet a bit. They're in line with your sit bones. Now from here, if you have a pillow under your head, remove it. We're going to articulate your spine and your hips up into the air. Start with an inhale. As you exhale, start to blow the air out and tip your pelvis backwards. Press into your feet and lift your hips and spine up. Pause at the top and breathe in again. As you exhale, let the bones of your back, one at a time, melt into the mat. You'll feel the curl of your pelvis. You'll find the length of your pelvis. And we'll go again. Breathe in first. Exhale, connect and tip your pelvis back by using your abdominals. Press into your feet. Lift your spine and hips up. Pause. As you come down, soften your bones and melt them into the mat, one at a time through the center of your spine. Feel the pelvic tilt and feel the length. This is a great awareness exercise. Let's do it one more time. Excellent. So you felt the difference between those pelvic positions. And even more, you felt that long pelvic position that you're looking for most of the time, as much as you can during a lot of these exercises. It is challenging, so don't get too frustrated. Keep practicing. It's all about that repetition. Let's look at our ribs and shoulders for principles. These are interconnected, but we'll start with ribs. So take a moment and lift your arms towards the ceiling and stretch them back overhead. And what you might find when you reach your arms overhead is your ribs tend to lift off of the mat and it pops your back into an arch. That's not conducive for a safe position. So lift your arms back up and place them down beside you. What we need is the ribs and spine to stay stable while the arms are moving. So try once again lifting your arms towards the ceiling, and as you go backwards with your arms, just settle your ribs down, let them relax, let them soften, and maybe you can't go all the way down now. So before you put them down but your back arched, let's keep your ribs and your mid-back connected to the mat, and don't worry if your arms don't make it all the way down to the mat. Lift your arms back up again and place them down. And we'll just do that one more time. Now that's not the case for Tanya's body, but she's going to show not placing her arms all the way down to show you that your ribs must stay anchored. So we'll do it one more time. And then up and down. It takes a little bit of abdominal control to not let those ribs pop off the mat. So that's your rib cage. Oftentimes our hands are behind our head or doing something in a circular motion. If our arms are moving, we want the ribs and spine to stay quite stable the majority of the time. Next, for the shoulders, the ribs play a part in this too. Take your arms back up to the ceiling. Turn your palms towards each other for now, and begin to reach your hands up to the ceiling. Let your chest and ribs soften through you so that you feel your arm and shoulder kind of wrapping around the side of your body. Let your shoulders just gently connect back down to the mat, and do that again. Let your arms move because your shoulder blades are wrapping around you and moving, and place them back down. And one more time, they reach for the ceiling, and then you place your shoulders on the mat. Now that movement comes into some of our exercises as well, so it's good to be aware of it. Good, and down. We can put that into that arm reach that you did with your rib principle. So lift your arms back up, keeping your ribs and mid-back anchored. Stretch your arms back and only go as far as you can remain connected in the mat with your mid-back. Lift your arms back up to the ceiling and place your shoulders on the mat. One more time. Lift up, stretch back, but keep control. Lift your arms and place your shoulders on the mat. Let's take this one step further. Lift your arms up to the ceiling and reach them back, keeping your ribs connected, and place your hands behind your head. So we do some movements with your hands behind your head, and we want to keep that control. Also, you want to avoid your shoulders lifting up into your ears. So while your hands and arms are back, you're staying controlled with your shoulders from lifting into your ears, all while your ribs are staying stable. I know, it sounds like a lot, but with practice and repetition, these become more natural and more efficient for you. You can bring your arms down again and rest. And so that's your ribs and shoulder principle. Stick with it. You're getting better and better all the time. Another important alignment principle in the fundamentals is to do with your head and neck. Daily, our head and necks tend to be quite forward. This can put strain on the musculature and the vertebra of our neck. So, when we're trying to lift our head off the mat to do these exercises, that can just be more strain on the neck. Here we're going to learn how to lift your head safely and effectively to use your abdominal muscles so that during the exercises, it's really productive for you. Okay, so first we'll start with just a basic head nod or chin nod. Your head stays on the mat, so don't lift it off just yet. Simply look towards the ceiling with your eyes, and then let your eyes paint across the ceiling and feel the length down the back of your neck. Let your eyes paint back across the ceiling straight above you and pause. Do it again. Your eyes paint across the ceiling and hold this position. It might feel like a double chin. Don't worry, no one's watching. We've got length along the back of the neck, which we're missing usually in our daily life. Bring your eyes across the ceiling and center your head and neck. Just one more time. It's very subtle movement. Curling forwards, lengthening the back of your neck, and then your eyes paint straight above you again. Very subtle, but super effective because it puts your head in the right position to then move into the next part of most of our exercises coming off of the mat. So let's try that while we're here. We're going to try nodding your chin again. Paint your eyes across the ceiling and pause. Now, to lift your head and shoulders, your head is in the right position. Don't change it. Just start to curl your head and shoulders and drop your ribs towards the mat. In this position, lower down, slowly coming into the mat. Your eyes paint across the ceiling and they arrive back straight above you. We'll try it one more time. It's not easy. Nod your chin, and as you lift, scoop your abdominals, let your ribs be heavy into the mat. Lift your back, lift the back of your neck to the ceiling. It's a lot of abdominals there. You're good. And lower down. A little shake there. That feels okay. That's okay. It means you're working. So that's a really safe way to be lifting your head off of the mat. Sometimes there's a chin poke. We're going to show what that looks like. So if you catch yourself, you might want to make sure you're trying to avoid this. So oftentimes lifting the head off the mat starts with people pulling their chin forwards. Can you show us that? Yeah. And then lowering down. That's only going to put strain in your neck, and you're going to oftentimes miss the abdominal muscles altogether. Keep practicing this basic chin nod. We're going to show one more position with the hands behind your head for this. So just like with the ribs and shoulders, you want to make sure you start with your ribs a little more connected and not arched off the mat. Go ahead and nod your chin, but keep it on your hands. Now, as you begin to lift your head, try not to pull your head away from your hands. Let it stay nuzzled into your hands, almost pressing your head into your hands. Lower back down. Eyes paint straight above you, and we'll do that just one more time. Paint the eyes across the ceiling and curl. Lower back down without pushing your head forwards. And rest. And that's your head and chin neck principle. I hope you found this helpful. We're going to move on to a couple of concepts, and then we're into the workout. Let's use some concepts that you can have throughout all of the exercises. These keep coming back time and time again. They're not necessarily principles, but they are concepts. They're very helpful. The first one we're going to talk about is centering. And what we want to do is be really working towards the midline of our body, engaging towards the midline of our body. And even just lying down, you can find this by squeezing your legs towards each other. Now, sometimes we talk about having a Pilates V with your feet. This can be beneficial to find some of these muscles. If it's uncomfortable for any reason, just have your feet together. Tanya's going to show it with a small little V, but mostly it's going to be coming from the sides of her hips connecting towards each other. The inner thighs are pulling towards the midline, even if they don't touch, and the heels and the feet are squeezing towards each other. As she does this, she's finding that midline of engagement. She might even feel it all the way up into her core, her center. Now she is using more of her fuller use of her core, which is really all the way from shoulders to your inner thighs and hips. But just by squeezing towards the midline, you can find a full engagement. And actually, that's a great position to start a lot of the exercises with. After centering, we're going to look for a long C curve. Now, if you think of a small letter C compared to a capital letter C, there is length in this letter C, of the long capital letter C, isn't there? So when we're working, we don't want to find compression and shortness. We're looking to expand the letter C in our engagement. So from the side of her body, if we were to draw the letter C, we would want a long letter C and not a short letter C. So a short letter C, even as she's lying here, might look like scrunched up. And then you can show it even lying down with your head down. If someone's in a shorter C, it might just be that you're all tilted in your pelvis. Look for the length of your pelvis. Still try to engage your abdominals in and up behind your ribs and up your back. And that's creating a long C. To show this even further, if she were to chin nod, lift your head and shoulders, and find a long C curve. The length of the pelvis is long. The engagement of the abdominals are pulling long behind her to help lift her up off the mat. This is long. Can you just stay here and show short? That might be all scrunched up in here. So we're going to look for that lengthened, long C curve. And you could even come back a little more. That's even longer. It's not easy. Keep working on that long C curve and bring your head down. And we'll see that in a lot of the exercises. It takes practice. The last little concept I want to talk about is lift. And in this position, we're going to find Tanya seated for now because I find it's easier to see, to explain while she's seated. So if you think of the bottom of a toothpaste bottle, a tube of toothpaste, and you were to squeeze it from the bottom, it would shoot up through the top. So that's what we're looking for in lift. Show what it looks like to just sit normally. Even if you think you're sitting tall, there's this position, and she does look really good. But if she is to find her seat squeezing towards each other, towards that midline, and finding everything trying to lift out through the top of her head, you can see the body just lifted more. So there's more engagement to keep her lifted. It's a lot more work, isn't it? So relax again. Can you sit with your legs long? Even we might not see them, and then find your kind of not so lifted position. She can find the lengthened C curve and the lift at the same time by squeezing the seat, engaging the abdominals to lift her up. And there you find even more lift in this position. That's going to create length with strength. And then there'll be stretch with that. So you can lie back down. So those are some concepts that you can add to your alignment fundamentals. You can continue to consider these as you're working out throughout the series, and they'll help you progress, and you'll find more effective workouts throughout. Stay with it, and we'll see you in a moment. Great work. You've learned some Pilates fundamentals. Don't be afraid to review these exercises at any point during this whole series. Come back to them time and time again. See you soon.